Coming into our final round here, it seems like we've had some movers. Tyler has moved up in the rank, jumped in front of Darian. Darian's still a factor going into the last round.
Kyle Kibbe up from Southport. His total 343.05.
Really high front 2.5 somersault pike, and it's a good thing. He had a rather open pike position. He didn't quite fold all the way in half, and he needed that time in the air to make it all the way before he hit the water, and he did complete the skill rather low to the water.
Kibbe in the top 10 for now with a total of 380.75. Creek's Casey Johnson here, currently your leader, 454.55 his point total.
He's a little close on his last reverse twister. This is another reverse twister. And this one's going to pay. They didn't take off any points for his position in space on the last one. This dive was just as safe, if not moved out a couple inches. It's got another twist. That's a lot of degree of difficulty.
3 on the degree of difficulty, in fact. 8, 8, 9, 5 by Judge 4. 6, 5, Judge 5. Judge 6 with an 8. Judge 7 with a 7, 5. His total 70.5 for the round. He's at 525.05.
That is the highest individual point award per dive in the contest today. I think second only to Tyler's 60-point dive.
Danton Rogers up next from Bloomington South. Degree of difficulty 2.3 on the dive.
Back 1.5 pike, beautiful entry, come out on this dive. Pike position could be a little tighter in midair. However, the position in space and the amount of jump on this dive was very good.
42.55 the total, giving him an overall total of 434.95.
Okay, Max did a back twister here, back 1.5 somersaults with 1.5 twists. He ended up piking it in a little short of vertical. Once you post your arms out for this particular skill, you got to really bend over fast from the waist.
Total 37.5. Slides him into the top 8 divers for now. Next up, Hank Dussard from Bedford North Lawrence.
Hank's doing a nice job today. He's hitting quite a few dives, a few misses in there. Consistency hasn't been the best category for him. This is a decent back 1.5 with 1.5 twists. Midway through the dive, Hank dropped his chin, so it didn't quite square out as quickly and smoothly as possible.
4s, 5s, and 6s on a 2.5 degree of difficulty, giving him a total of 38.75, an overall total of 395.45. Rankin comes in with a total of 326.5.
Front 2.5 somersaults in the pike position. We really haven't seen too many tight pike positions in the forward direction. We've seen a lot of front 2.5 pikes here, but we haven't really seen too many that are folded in half completely, and the scores have been adjusted accordingly.
40.3 the total. 5-5, a 6, 4-5, 4-5, 4-5, 5-5, and 5-5. 366.8 the overall score for Ben Rankin from Warsaw.
The darndest thing for a coach, diving coach, is to get their male athletes to stretch out responsibly and consistently over time. So flexibility and form. You know, these boys didn't grow up attending ballet class in most circumstances, and very few were involved in gymnastics or dance or other areas of athletic proprioception that could train form. So they've got to develop that as an adult, and that takes a little longer.
Chris Simmons from Oak Hill up next. The degree of difficulty 2.3 on the dive.
I think Chris is going to be happy with this last dive attempt of the meet. It is a back 1/2 pike. It is a little short of vertical, but decent judges' scores.
36.8, giving him an overall total of 378 points.
So perhaps Chris is hitting that dive a little more consistently throughout the season.
Mitchell Gagger from Kokomo in the pool now with a degree of difficulty of 2.1 going into this dive. His total 365.45.
Mitch has been very consistent today. Every dive is on balance, up in the air and spinning well. He did a nice reverse 1/2 with great connection. We talked about connection earlier. Now he kicked out and he didn't quite look all the way back, so the dive washed a little beyond vertical, but a great top on the dive.
Lots of 5s and 6s, a total of 31.5. Overall total 396.95.
This is the only runner in the race, I think, at this point who has a chance of taking the event away from Casey Johnson.
3.1 on the degree of difficulty for Tyler Klingerman of Plainfield. He has 432 Johnson with 5:25.05.
This is a very well-performed inward 2.5, the best inward 2.5 we'll see in the contest today. He did a little bit of a wrong order come out, but he went straight in with nice toe point and leg extension.
6.57, 6.555, 6.56, and 7, a total of 60.45. His total score, 492.5. That puts him in second place behind Casey Johnson.
And he had a very successful final round.
Ross Dreyer from Avon. 3.1 on the degree of difficulty for this dive.
Now this was a higher and faster spinning inward 2.5. Ross jumped the gun a little bit on the final move. He picked his head up instead of digging down towards the water. A little bit of wrong order come out. This will land in a little short.
48 the point total, 48.05, giving him a total of 441.70, puts him into third place. Anthony Ternosky is up next from Valparaiso. His total coming in 326.70, 2.1 on the degree of difficulty for the dive.
Anthony laid this one up a little short. His arms were a bit wide coming through on the start, a little bit incomplete on the reach. And the head took over from there, a bit on the start and a bit on the out.
Scores reflect that. A low of 4 and a high of 5 is total 29.4, an overall total of 356.10. Next up, Darian Schmidt from Bloomington South. He currently has 404.85 degree of difficulty, 2.6 on his dive.
Now we saw a better midair position for the front 2.5 pike and certainly a better entry. Darian was able to fold in half a little bit more, not completely. Beautiful approach, looked a lot like Mark Lindsay's. I could see he was teaching him that.
55.9 the total. Couple of 6s, couple of 7s, and some 8.5s. Will slide Darian Schmidt up to the third position with a total of 460.75. So Johnson, Klingerman, Schmidt, Dreyer, Rogers, Gauger, Dussard, and Scripture, the top 8. Thomas Dreyer that time with the dive, the degree of difficulty, 3.0.
It's a huge dive, and a lot of respect for him for completing his list with this high risk, very difficult dive. Thomas went for it, spun like crazy, completed the dive well over the water, and went beyond the required amount of rotation needed for the dive. If you're going to miss a dive, that's the way to miss a dive, not by shooting a nice little layup when you should be trying to slam dunk.
Scored low, but still moved up into the top 8, 409.80. Kevin Moser is next from New Prairie. He had 332.05 coming in. The dive, 2.6 on the degree of difficulty.
Our field of boys could make use of some stretching sessions, generally speaking, across the board. We see better form than flexibility, and that's a compliment. Usually it's flexibility or form goes right out the door when you're talking male divers in a lot of cases. But this top 16 has done a remarkable job of keeping their legs together with the straight body line, knees locked out, and ankles and toes pointed.
Whiteland's Derek Pennington, currently 335.25 his point total.
A solid inward 2 somersaults in the tuck position, straight up and down vertical. Not a complete hip press to show the out. He had a slight pike in the hips going into the water, but he finished the dive.
2.8 on the degree of difficulty, 5s, a 6.5, couple of 7s and a 6. Total of 50.40, overall total 385.65 for Derek Pennington.
It's a 50-foot first dive. That's the highest scoring double that we've seen in the contest at 2.8, and that's definitely something that paid off well for Derek.
Ingram Cade of Carmel is up next. 2.2 on the difficulty, 363.10 his point total going into the dive.
So last dive of the contest, a reverse 1.5 somersault with half twist. Ingram did a very nice job, a little bit short of vertical. Overall mechanically sound on this dive.
36.3 the total, 399.40, puts him into 7th position and makes your champion Casey Johnson with a score of 525.05. Tyler Klingerman in 2nd, Darian Schmidt, Ross Dreyer, Danton Rogers, Thomas Dreyer, Ingram Cade, and Mitchell Gauger, the top 8.